Let's do this.
Welcome back.
Let's do it.
Real short and sweet, guys.
We are talking today. This is actually the second video that we've done on a Sons of Liberty Gunworks AR. Today we're going to be talking about the Sage Dynamics edition, which is a pretty interesting gun, and we'll talk a little bit about it and where the gun came from, all that good stuff. But before we do that, this video is brought to you by Shooting Surplus, which I would highly recommend you check out. They carry some really nice, very Gucci gear. Off the top of my head, I cannot remember if they carry Suns. I think they do. Almost positive they do. Don't quote me on that. Go check their site. But check out the Shooting Surplus dudes. The code 1911 saves you 5% off the entire site, which once you start factoring in some of the Gucci stuff they have, you go,
That's actually decent.
Actually pretty legit at that point. So check that out. Beyond that, ammo provided by US Brass House. There's 2 codes you got to enter to get your savings on that site from us, which is both the code 1911 and the code Syndicate. I think it'll save you like 40 bucks off or something like that. Then outside of that, just real brief, I think you guys get the deal now. But if you don't, you're new here. The 1911 Syndicate is actually a real estate company. We're just kind of a 2A friendly one that likes to do this kind of stuff. So we've got that, and if you guys ever need another way to support the channel, we got Patreon. You're tired of hearing the sales pitch, so let's get on with the damn video, shall we?
Get on with it, sir.
The gun did not come from Sons of Liberty. It's actually borrowed from a buddy of mine. Thank you to that gentleman and scholar for letting us borrow
Dude, he's a stud. This is like gun number 8 he's let us borrow.
Yeah, so like we borrowed a couple guns from my buddy, and that's that. So that's where the gun came from, and that's where the gun will go after we are done with it. So let's hit it. Overview of Sons of Liberty. So they are based out of Texas. I think it's San Antonio, but don't quote me on that. But they're based out of Texas.
San Antonio.
Is it? Okay, cool. Based out of Texas. And one thing that they do is they take the process of building ARs very seriously. I would say that inside of the world of AR-15, they are definitely viewed as one of the real subject matter experts that truly, truly like nerds out on making mechanically good guns and doing things properly. One of the things that they do is outstanding quality control. Each of the guns test fired twice actually before it goes out the door. So it's like they really put a lot into their QC. So their website does suck, I will say that. And I talked to Mike, the owner of Sons, and I did not bring that point up. So Mike, sorry if you've seen this for the first time, but the Sons of Liberty site is pretty tough to deal with. But let's talk about the Sage Dynamics edition. So this is a collab between obviously Sage Dynamics and, Sons of Liberty Gunworks and Sage Dynamics, which is, Aaron.
Aaron Cowan.
Aaron Cowan, right? So
I've taken a class with Aaron.
Oh, did it? Was it Red Dot Pistol?
Okay,
cool. Yeah, that's right. So Aaron, who also has another, frankly, when I need like real like info and how did something perform, he's probably got one of the, maybe the best YouTube channel out there in terms of like, I beat the shit out of this thing and here's how it did.
And that's what even industry people like, let's say Flux. Flux, when they had their video and Aaron did their review on it, they're like, because they know he beats the shit out of
it's a seal of approval.
Yes.
Because I mean, hey, straight up, he is way harder on
when he
stuff
takes
than we
guns
are.
and he just boop, drops
like,
them on the optic,
kinda
everything.
Breaks my heart when I see it, but
I appreciate it.
I appreciate it, and props to him for doing that. So I like what he does there. But anyway, to kind of get into it, so there's a collab between the two, and what we have here is a 12.5, right? And I'll get into some of the things that Mike, the owner of Sons, told me about the gun, but in terms of some basics. So we've got a 12.5 running on a Roscoe barrel, 4150 stainless, right?
I'm a huge fan.
I mean, come on, aren't we all? And so we have that going. So I'm telling you a couple of things that I talked to Mike. I'm gonna butcher his last name, Mulhalski. God damn it, let's just move on. Mike from Sons. Mulhalski. Shit.
Malone.
Man.
Sorry, brother.
It's Mike M. That's what we're gonna abbreviate it to, Mike M. And very knowledgeable on the platform, and he really, really loves this setup. He really kind of, I don't know if he directly said this, but it was definitely implied like, that's the setup. Like that's
But didn't
the
he have a
setup there.
tagline?
Yes. So basically what you've got here, just to kind of give you a couple of the reasons that he really, really likes this setup, is because one, 12.5 is really kind of the sweet spot of that jack of all trades. Like, it's pretty good at everything. It's not going to be the best CQB gun. It's not going to be the best long range gun. You can do both of those with it. Like you can punch some distance, not as much as a 16-inch gun or whatever, but it's like you can punch some distance. You know, probably, I don't know, we haven't shot it that far, but I mean, 400, let's call it, pretty safely, you can push that too. But it's also short enough that you could work it in confined spaces and things like that. So it is a nice sweet spot. But for him, a 12.5 with a carbine length gas system with an A5 buffer system is the ticket. Okay, and it was like those three things that he told me. And what he basically said, I mean, it was almost a direct quote. He goes, "It is mechanically very hard to kill." And I was like, I like that.
Write that down.
Yeah, and that's why we do calls with companies leading into this, is to not try to buddy up to them necessarily, but to like, tell me your perspective on this. Like, help us learn the story of this and why you did this. And when he said that, it really like kind of struck a chord for me. Is like, that's mechanically a very hard to kill gun. And I was like, you got me on that one. Like you piqued my interest there. So we'll talk about a couple of the features there. He said, like, the velocity is a little bit of a selling point because obviously you're going to get quite a bit more than you would on a 10.5, like a Mark 18, which 10.3, I get it. But that's one of the complaints of the Mark 18, right, is the velocity is lacking because 5.56 really has to get to, don't quote me exactly, but about 2,500 feet per second in order to fragment and tumble and do all that kind of stuff. And 10.3 is right at the bleeding edge of being able to get
Someone's
there.
going to get mad at you.
Yeah, but it's
you
actually,
don't know.
I'm pretty confident what I'm saying there. So 11.5 will get you around quite a bit of that. 12.5, like you're in pretty safe territory there on velocities for 5.56 in order for it to do its job. You also get an increase in dwell time, which is another, sort of complaint about the real short barrel stuff. So you're going to get an increase in dwell, increase in velocity. So again, you have a very high-performing gun that's also very mechanically hard to kill. So I'm like, okay, man, I'm tracking with you. Talk a little bit about the A5 buffer system. So I've heard a lot of people that I respect really rave about A5 buffer systems. But I didn't really know why.
I know fuck all about them.
I didn't know why. I was like, cool, I know it's good, but I can't tell you why it's good. I only know it's good because smart people tell me it's good.
I'm not that type of gun guy where I get into that stuff.
No, I don't care.
Really smart people endorse it.
So here's what it is. Let me just give you the crash course. It allows for a less dramatic change in carrier speed based on inputs, if you will, AKA a suppressor.
Okay.
Right? So you add a suppressor and what do? You increase your carrier speed.
Yeah.
What does that do? It's like you're just gonna beat the shit out of your gun. That's the reality of it. So the A5 buffer system is basically making your gun less sensitive to inputs and less dramatic on the carrier speed increase from adding a can to it.
Okay.
Big selling point. So it basically manages carrier speed without having to mess with adjustable gas systems.
Okay.
Sons of Liberty, not fans of adjustable gas systems. And teach their own. There's an argument on both sides of the equation here, right? But their philosophy would be, I'm speaking a little bit on their behalf, but I know just based on conversations I've heard, which is like, gas the gun properly and like, let it go to work. And it's like, cool, your point is valid, adjustable gas system, cool, it's another failure point. I have never had one fail, in all honesty, but it's like, hey, there's a pro and a con to everything. There's an argument, counter argument, but it's like, hey, that's just a straight DI gun. It's very appropriately gassed. We will talk a little bit about that. But that is the Sons of Liberty muzzle device. They make it. It's also, of interesting note because you can run, I think, down to a 13.9, I believe is the shortest length that you can run. Throw a Nox on it where your overall length is 16. So basically, instead of doing a 14.5, you can go 13.9.
Yep.
So it is kind of nice about that. It also is key cans that you may have, whether it's the Nomad from them or whatever can that you have dead air chemo on.
Yeah.
You can run that on a Nox. They've got a Gen 1 and a Gen 2 Nox, which you got to think, the Nox is a bit of a hybrid between a flash hider and a brake, right? So it's going to do some of both. They have a Gen 1 on two sides of, if we say, hey, it's got this side, this side, this side, this side, the 12, 3, 6, and 9. This is going to have ports on two sides. 12
and 3.
3,
okay.
Right? The Gen 2 is able to be timed neutral.
Oh, okay? Cool. Okay.
So this is a Gen 1. Well, you probably could, because you could probably split the difference, but it's not really how it's designed to be. You could probably almost angle the ports like that, but the problem with that you're probably gonna be driving the muzzle down quite a bit. you're probably going to actually overcompensate on the muzzle. I don't know that for sure, so don't take that as the
bro
gospel.
science, guys. Bro science.
Yeah, but I can also tell you this. So that gun, which is timed for a right-handed shooter, when a lefty gets it without a can on it, it's a very sharp impulse.
Okay.
So obviously make sure it's timed for you, whether you're lefty or a righty. But if you've got the ability to get the Gen 2 knocks, definitely get the Gen 2 just because you can time it neutral, which in reality is probably the move for like 95% of people.
Mine is that I'm getting that upper done is neutral.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, time it neutral. Just my 2 cents. Beyond that, a couple of features, 11.5-inch rail, which is a wedge lock system. I don't, if I'm being candid with you, don't understand the difference in wedge lock and M-lock. To me, it looks like it's the same shit.
No.
No?
M-lock.
Yeah.
Wedge lock is how it clamps on, okay?
You see this? We all learn.
See, and again, guys, some people are gonna get mad at you. There's different type of gun guys.
Yeah.
You don't have to know all the nitty gritty to enjoy firearms.
No,
some people think that you have to. I don't.
Okay.
There's certain things
the
that
wedge lock is how it. Okay.
It's how it mounts.
Okay.
Like BCM has their mounting solution for rails. This is just theirs, wedge lock.
I'm tracking.
Okay. Yep.
The good news in that I was not an idiot. It is M-lock, as it turns out.
Correct.
I was actually correct on that. So it is M-lock.
You're 50% right.
Yeah, I was 50% right on the equation there. The gun, very nice feature in my opinion, comes with the rail scales that surround the handguard and the little carve hand stop. That's a nice feature.
So cool.
Very nice feature because that's all really nice hardware. And I will also note, aesthetically, very pleasing.
Oh, are you kidding me? Look at how that gun looks.
It's a great looking rifle. Like, it really is a great looking rifle.
The greens and the browns. And,
comes with a Geisley G2S trigger. I'm sure I've shot that trigger in other occasions, but I just don't remember it. It's nice. It's a nice trigger. It's not as Gucci as, you know, some of their whatever, like 3-gun or whatever, you know, model. But it's basically like an entry point Geisley trigger, if you will. And it, you know, it runs and it's nice, and hey, why not? Radian Raptor LT charging handle, which is the lightweight version. So this is the sort of scaled down. It's not like it's going to shave a pound off the gun or anything, but Radian
is Palmer.
In my opinion, still the best charging handles that are out there. It's kind of the gold standard that I think everyone, frankly, tries to mimic and copy.
And they throw on Sage's.
No, I actually never noticed that.
Yep.
Cool, nice. Also comes with a Radian Talon safety.
Yep.
So you got an ambi safety.
Which right now it's set at a 45.
Yeah.
Instead of a 90.
You could change it to 90, of course.
Yep.
Very simple, but also probably my favorite safeties that are out there. This does come as a pistol with the SBA A3 pistol brace, which if I was gonna get a pistol brace, that's what I would get. I like SBRing things, so that's...
Form 1 it.
That's what I do, but I would Form 1 that if I were you. And hey, with E-forms up, that probably will happen, in theory, very quick now.
Form 1s, even before E-forms, were 14 to 21 days.
Yeah, quick.
Yep.
Price on these, $2,100. They are fairly limited.
I would have thought it was going to be more than that.
Based on the hardware and the features and everything, I agree.
Wow, that's a pretty fairly built out, awesome Gucci accessory gun for not a bad price.
I agree. I think it's actually probably a little undervalued. I'd probably say, hey, I'm cool with that being like 23.
I was going to say I'd pay 25 for this.
Yeah, probably upwards of 25. So I think 21's very fair. They do these in pretty limited batches. I have no clue when the next one's coming out. No idea. But they're pretty limited batches. And I don't even, you know, hey, check Shooting Surplus. There you go. There's my shameless plug. Check them, see if they got anything coming in. Beyond that, I don't know. Call Sons, see what they can do for you. Come with a lifetime warranty, which is nice. So anything that ever goes wrong, they'll fix it, replace it, all that good stuff. You know, my 2 cents on the gun is kind of interesting heading into this. Because if I remember right, I think that you weren't here for the first Sons of Liberty.
Nope.
We were solo on that day. But I think I almost have the same thing to say here, which I had to say then, which is sometimes about it's nice and it works really good. And it's almost like, what else do you want it to do?
I mean, fit and finish on this too, there's no wobble.
I believe
like fit and finish is great on this.
They're very, very high quality gunsmiths that build their stuff.
And much like you're saying, like, I find that to be a giant compliment.
Same.
It's a gun that, like, man,
I trust.
Yeah, and I don't know how to say it, and I'm not meaning in a negative way, but it's kind of like a, what's the word? It's not like a flashy Ferrari type gun. It is a gun that's solidly built that, again, is hard to kill.
Yeah, and I would trust my life to it. And isn't that about the best compliment you could pay any gun? Which is I would trust it to defend my life with.
At the same time, it does look fucking great.
And it looks great. I mean,
Right?
obviously the Cerakote, this is the Cerakote color that it comes in and everything. So it's like that is, you know, with the FD furniture and everything.
Pretty cool.
You know, it's cool. Like, it's a gun that I would 100% be comfortable spending personal money on.
Yep.
Like, I don't have a lot to say other than, yeah, it's a damn good gun. Like, what else do you want to say?
One of these, I mean, a Sun's gun has been on my list for a little bit. When they announced these, like, I think it's been maybe 2, 3, 4?
It's about 2 years.
2 years?
About 2 years, yeah.
I was like, dang it. I like that color. I like the accessory, you know. I need to get one of these. This is cool. I like it.
Good gun. So, hey, for what our 2 cents is worth, highly recommend. They might be tough to find, but give it a go. Damn good gun.
Cool.
Damn good gun. And we'll hopefully do some more stuff with Suns down the road, so we'll see.
I hope so.
Yeah. So cool.
Thank
Hope
you
you guys
guys
are doing good. Enjoy your night. Comment below with what bourbon or whiskey, if you will, that you enjoyed while watching this video. And yeah, we'll catch you next time.
Have a good night. Be safe.